Hello, hello, hello. How are
Hello.
you?
I'm good. Can you hear me?
I can hear you perfectly. Can you hear
Awesome.
me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, I'm
Let me
going
send you
to
just.
put my headphones in,
Perfect.
so make sure you can hear me. All right, can you hear me okay?
Yep.
Yes. Okay,
Yep.
perfect.
Yeah, I can hear you. We're good.
Okay, perfect. So, are you
Nice.
ready?
Yes.
Okay, I think it's going to be a
Yep.
small crowd today,
That's
and
okay.
that's okay. We if we get 500 or 500, it does not matter. We just
Nope.
go on with it
Go with it.
as it's
Yep.
recorded, and we'll put it in our membership group.
Okay,
But
perfect.
the great thing, it gives you practice and it
Yes.
gets the word out of what explains to the public what you do. So
Yeah.
I love these. So we have about another minute and we'll
Okay.
see who all shows up. And
Okay.
yeah, we just take it from there, just like, you
Perfect.
know, and yeah, don't be nervous. Just shout it out from the rooftops, whatever it is
Right.
you want people to know about
Yeah.
Jocelyn.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
I
all
love it.
fun.
I love it. All right, I'm going to let people in and then
Okay.
we will start our business.
Perfect.
Hello, hello, everyone. Raw is in the house. We are expecting a few more today. Hello. Oh, I love that blue jacket, my friend.
Oh, nice.
Yes, blue looks very nice on you. Yes, indeed.
You look beautiful.
I
Um,
like the black. That's black, right? Beside like the trim
That's right.
on the
Yes.
oh wow, it just like accentuates it. It's like like
It's nice
yes,
seeing you like you.
absolutely. Absolutely. I love it. I
I,
love it.
I'm actually in competition with LaDonna and Dr. Pat. So I always think, what are they gonna wear? Because they always bring it.
I love that. Oh my God, I love that.
I love you, Ra. I just love
Thank
you.
you.
You
Nice meeting
always
you,
come with a
Jocelyn.
smile and happiness. And I just love that. And to speak of Dr. Pat, here she is. Yes, yes. She must have, Dr. Pat must have heard you talking about her greatness.
Always, always. She's
Yeah.
amazing. I
She
was
is
actually watching her
amazing.
video.
She
Yeah.
is amazing. She always brings that bright bulb into the house, right?
She
Mhm.
does. She does.
Yes,
So how
I
are you
love
guys
it.
doing today?
Hey,
All you beautiful ladies.
Hey there,
everybody.
my friend, Dr. Pat.
Hi, honey. I'm
So
on
we
your
are
platform.
expecting a couple of more. So with that said, let's go ahead and heat up the chat and put in all of your great information. I would love to see if you have a website, what that website link would be. If you have a um, appointment link, let's get those appointment links in. Here's Miss Abby. And let's get all the information in there, your website, your phone number. Maybe I want to text you one day and say, hello, gorgeous. You never know, right? You never
Yeah.
know.
Yep.
Woo-hoo. Love it. All right. Okay, so let's heat up that chat, get everything in there. And I want to hear about anything that's going on in your business right now that you would like some help with. Maybe you need to make some appointments happen for Tuesday next week. Maybe you need to fill an event. Maybe you need to get some more speakers, some attendees. I know Jocelyn has an event or two coming up. I know Dr. Pat has an event coming up. Let's put those events as well in the chat, but put in there anything that you may need help with right now. Oh, did we lose Dr. Pat? Okay, I bet
I
she'll
think
be
I think.
coming back. So,
Yeah. She probably has all
Abby,
some.
if you could help me watch for her, please. And I would love to hear from you about what you may need help with in this next 10 days or so. You know, that is one of the reasons that we have our membership, is so that we can reach out to each other and bless each other, but also help each other in one way or another. So let's make sure that we get that in there, because if you do need some help, I'm sure Dr. Pat would love to have more people at her event. I'm not for sure, Dr. Pat, do you still have room for speakers, or are you just looking for attendees at this point? You're muted, my friend.
Hi, I'm sorry. Yeah, I had to go out and come back in. Okay, I got my background. Woo, woo, woo.
Love it. You look beautiful.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm good. I'm just looking for attendees. I know Dar signed up. I know Abby speaking. And Jocelyn, how are you? Nice to meet
I'm
you.
good. Nice to meet
And
you.
LaDonna,
Good.
of course, is speaking. So for right now, I'm good. I'm just gonna probably share the link to the
Okay.
event.
So you're really just looking for attendees now, right?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
perfect. Perfect. Okay. All right. Let's get the let's make sure that we are commenting on all of Dr. Pat's posts when she's posting, and we're posting and sharing, and let's get the word out there and get a full house. What number are we trying to hit, Dr. Pat? Do you have a number?
To be honest with you, honey, I've been so busy dealing with everybody else's stuff. I haven't even looked at my numbers, but I do see them popping in. They're popping in. I see the little email popping in, and yeah.
Awesome.
But yeah, I'm always
Awesome.
content with
Well,
what
I
God
do
gives me.
know that Dr. Pat's is pretty full usually, you know?
Yeah, I
So,
think Raj might be sharing. I know Raj. I'll get back to your statement later. I saw it. I love you. You know I get that with you. Yeah, he may be. He may be. I think I can squeeze him in. He wants to speak. Am I correct? Did I see that correctly? I'm gonna see what I can do. I'll probably be able to give you a 7 minute, but we'll talk. Other than
perfect,
that,
perfect,
and that's normally what we do.
perfect.
Okay,
Yes.
I'm good.
Awesome. Okay, so with that said, let's go ahead and go around the room and introduce each other and give us one. Sorry, Boo Boo has to talk in the background. I don't know why. Give us one thing that you may need help with in the next 10 days. Just introduce yourself and give us one thing that you may need help on in the next 10 days. And we are going to start with Jocelyn.
Mhm. Hello, hello. I'm Jocelyn, and I'm looking to host a free event in my Facebook group. I'm going to be doing an energy clearing and experience for people. So that post will be coming out in Facebook in the next day or so. And I'm holding that next week. So it's just for to get an experience so people can come and feel how an experience with Reiki energy would feel like.
And Jocelyn, do you have the date and time on that yet, please?
Let me check my list here.
Just put it in the chat when you get
Okay,
it, please, so we
I
have it.
will. Yes.
Perfect. And then Abby, please. And then we'll go to Raw.
Well, I don't know what I really need. I know I need to do follow-ups, but that's my job. Referrals is something I need. Testimonials is something I need. That's where I'm sitting at. I do have my event tonight where it's every Thursday night now, where I'm calling it Digital Desires, where anybody can bring their curiosities or their questions about computers. So I need attendees for that every Thursday night.
Perfect. I
That's
didn't
already in the
realize
chat.
you had changed it to every Thursday. So that's nice to know. Nice to know. And is there a charge for it, or is it free, Abby?
Well, everyone here can contact me and I'll give you the free link. Otherwise, it's $15 Canadian plus tax.
Perfect. Perfect. Okay. And then you know that I would love to give you a testimonial. I'm always shouting it out. So just get with me and let me know if you want to video it or if you want me
That'd
to
be cool.
write it. Okay, perfect. and Raw, and then we'll go to Dr. Pat.
Hello, everyone. Good morning. It's lovely to see all you beautiful smiles. I see Abby there with his smile. Dar, thank you so much, you guys, for coming and showing up. And oh my God, Dr. Pat, you always bring the light. And nice meeting you, Jocelyn. As thank you, LaDonna, for doing this. I have mental health conferences and I'm looking for speakers. So you just email me. I have the next one virtual coming up on December 16th. All the Eventbrites are going to be out this week, as well as I was speaking with the mayor's office last night, and they offered me a really nice thing. They want to do a book signing with me to get the kids with my new books, but they don't want one author. They want other authors. And I mean to say, if the city is putting it together and the council members, that means to say it's going to be really nice. And I'm going to be going out to the hospitals, to the pediatric wards, to talk to them, read for them. So therefore, when I have a crowd coming in, and they're hoping to do this between November and December, so I would like all who have authors to still email me, so I have you guys, so at least you all could come down and set up. I think it's going to be a free event because they're trying to support the authors locally. And, so, but whoever I bring, they're good with it. They're, So that's
Oh, how
something
awesome is
I'm
that?
to-
But that'll be an
And,
in-person event, correct?
Yes, in person.
All right. And Dr. Pat. You're muted, Dr. Pat.
But okay, sorry about that. Yeah, I've already posted about the event, but most of you here are coming. Jocelyn, we'd love to have you join us. The early bird special is still $15 until tomorrow. That would close, and the regular cost of the tickets will go back to $37 for the remainder of the event on the 21st. And like you, LaDonna, all I can say is I would appreciate it if you all would share the information. I know those of you who are in the event, you have your own personal banners. Thank you, Dar. I see you posting. I think I saw LaDonna post. But as you know, we're on LinkedIn, we're on Facebook, we're all over the place, and I will tag you all. And all I'm asking is that you check your link, your notifications, and let's make some noise on those posts, because that's what I had 17,000 impressions like in 1 week in LinkedIn. So that's just to say that it does work. 17,000 people are not coming to the event, but 17,000 people see who Dr. Rogers is. And that's what it's all about, branding, not bragging. But anyway, I'm going to ask everybody here, and you can do the same, and I'll do the same, is that I'm posting my links here in the chat. If you would click my YouTube channel, LinkedIn, if you're not connected, Facebook, all of those, Instagram, if you're on there, and just connect with me, because it's always about building our network and of followers or whatever. And if you all post your links, I will certainly connect with you as well and help you build your list. That's all I have.
Beautiful, beautiful. Awesome. And then let's go to Dar.
Good afternoon, everybody. What I need this week, I need a housekeeper. No. I fired my last housekeeper. No, I don't know if there's anything I need now, and I need to get 2 orders done. Still 2 more orders. And then I need you all to go to my website and place an order.
Awesome. Awesome, Dar. Did you put your website in the chat?
I will.
Perfect. Perfect. That makes it easier. Yes. And as you all know, I am LaDonna McAbee, and I am your networking expert. And what I need is, I need some more interviews. And I know I haven't interviewed Jocelyn, Raul, and Dr. Pat yet. So I would love for you guys to reach out to me and get on my calendar so that I can get you interviewed and put on my YouTube channel and out on the events page. And, it's just another way of advertising all of our events, our membership, our environment, to let people know what to expect if they come in and join with us. So yes, that's what I need this week. So with that said, I'm going to turn everything over to Miss Jocelyn for the next 25-ish minutes. And she is going to speak to us and make us more aware of what she is all about and how she can help us. Go ahead, Jocelyn.
Hello, hello. Thank you so much, LaDonna, for this opportunity. Yes, thanks, Roz. No. I am a personal development coach as well as a Karuna Reiki master. So I have put together a program that helps guide people in breaking free from anxiety and people-pleasing tendencies. So I'm going to give you a little bit of back history. So that is what I do, right? And keeping in the theme of the Throwback Thursday, I'm going to just talk a little bit about my journey and how I got here, right? And how I went from reacting to responding, right? Being in control, right? So my journey started, I am a certified child and youth worker. I work in the helping field, right? And I was always helping people, right? I did jobs in schools, helping children with developmental disabilities. I worked in group homes, working from a wide range of children to adults, and always giving of myself. And I loved it, right? I have that giving personality. And even with all the education I had, all of the techniques I had in helping other people, I wasn't applying them to myself. And as the years went on, started my family, had mat leaves, went back to work, I wasn't releasing or moving forward. I was carrying all of this resentment, all of this anger, all of this hostility, of feeling like I had to say yes to everybody. Right. And it was just yes, 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 even though I didn't want to. And then I would turn around and get mad at the other person. Well, look what they're making me do. I was giving up my power every day. And I was just continuously giving it up. And that had to stop. I was like that tornado just spinning downward. I was going down the rabbit hole. Right. And I was becoming my even worst enemy. I was just talking all these bad things about myself, going down even deeper. And at some point, I had to say to myself, when is this going to stop? When am I going to stop reacting all the time? It was affecting my kids. It was affecting everybody in my life. So I decided to then take charge of my life, start taking control of my life. And, it started diving deep into personal development, really working on myself and finding out what it was that I liked again. I lost myself in that transition, right? And I had children that were looking up to me for this role model, this, what is mom doing next? And, it's being that role model for them so that they have the tools then to do it for themselves, right? And bringing that to them at such a young age. Because a lot of these things I didn't even learn as a kid, right? If we go back to thinking how we were raised as children, right? Our parents only did what they knew with the tools that they had. And I was, again, doing the same thing, no judgment, right? And I took a closer look at that and how can I pivot things and how can I make changes for myself that will then better things for my children? So I started really releasing, doing the mindset, right? Figuring out what it was that I needed to shift. And I couldn't do it on my own. That saying that you can't fix the problem with the same mind that created it, right? It was, I was going in a circle. So having that support outside of me was able to then reframe what I was looking at, right? Without judgment. Right. We quickly go, oh my God, as if I did that. And then you start, coming down on yourself. Right. So it was able to release that and that pressure. And I was able then to start laughing about it. Oh, okay. Like I see that now, look at how I was acting. Right. And that just snowballed to everything around me. Right. Realizing that when I reacted, there was a snowball effect. in the environment around me, right? So moving forward and, doing all that work on myself, clearing it energetically with Reiki, doing some timeline therapy, really releasing the emotions behind it. We carry those forward through our years, through childhood, through adolescence, through, adulthood. And if we're not releasing them, it's like you got 40 years of anger coming down all wait on that one event, right? And that was me, and we've all seen these people, driving in the car and they're yelling at the person on the phone and there's nobody beside them. And we're like, oh, wow, she's really mad. That was me, right? That was me, reacting that way in all the time, right? And once I released all of that through the energy work and really focusing on where and channeling my energy onto where I wanted to go, I started responding, right? And I share this story with people where I have a son with special abilities, love of my life, gem, pure gem. Just the way he thinks and does things is just so unique. And he takes a taxi to school. And he had been saying for probably about a month, I don't like the driver. He's mean to me. I don't like the driver. He's mean to me. And, and I was trying to comfort him and work with him how we can make his transition to school better. And then the one day I opened the door from the taxi, and right away he's yelling, "Mom, he hit me!" Right away. And I was like, old me would have probably lost my noodle, yelled at the driver, showed my son that yelling at someone and cussing them out is the proper way to do things when it's not, right? So, and because I did all of this work on myself in that moment, it was instinct. Take a deep breath, Jocelyn. Okay, buddy, come with mommy right away. Come with mommy. And the driver is yakking at me. I did it. And I didn't even, it was like it was falling on deaf ears, right? And I was so focused on him and what he needed that I didn't react. I responded to his needs in that moment. He needed mom to be there to support him. He needed mom to hear him, right? He needed to feel like comforted that he wasn't alone, right? A mom who would have reacted and freaked out would not have shown him that, right? It would have made him then feel uncomfortable and uncertain in those situations, right? And when we got into the house, it was like, okay, what happened? He was able to calmly tell me. And then I responded, got him a new driver, called authorities, right? And I was calm. And then he then was like, wow, mommy, I felt heard. Like, thank you, mommy. He was so much more supported in that situation, right? And it was that model for him. Now when situations like that happen again, he knows that he can be calm and he can respond instead of reacting to those situations, right? And I hold on to those things. And I really come back to those moments when life gets lifey, right? Because we know life gets lifey all the time, right? And we're all human, right? And to say that I respond like that every time would be a lie. Obviously, I am human, right? I'm still allowed to honor my emotions, right? But it doesn't get to that extent. It doesn't go that far anymore, right? I use my tools, I use my techniques. And when I feel those things coming on, I get curious. Okay, Jocelyn, I'm feeling sad. Why am I feeling sad? Right? Something inside me is unsettled. What do I need right now? Right? And most times I try to give it to myself as much as possible, whether that be to go outside for a walk. If my husband's there, babe, I just need a hug, just give me a hug, whatever it is. And you feel your energies just shift, right? You become more calm and your inner child is not freaking out as much. She's more calm, or he's more calm and reassured in those moments, right? Yes, hugs, LaDonna. Oh, right? You're giving yourself what you need, right? Because sometimes as a child, we never really gave ourselves what we needed, right? So as an adult, we're still able to give our inner child what he or she needs in those moments, right? And harnessing that and empowering you to move forward, right? So in those moments, I like to guide people. When you feel those emotions come up, literally take 3 physical steps backwards, checking behind you first that you're not walking into anything, right? Yes, make sure we're clear path, right? And that really, that separates you from whatever was happening because you're actually moving backwards, right? Take a deep breath. Why am I feeling this? Right? Get curious. What do I need? Right? And explore the feeling instead of shoving it down, right? We're taught to eat our emotions, to shove them down, and speaking from experience, I gave myself ulcers because of that, right? Our emotions will literally eat us from the inside out if we don't deal with them, right? So I'm talking from experience as well, right? I've lived not expressing myself, right? And now I honor it, and my 13-year-old looks at me like, Mom, really? You know what? I'm human. Yay, human. And if we're talking about something that requires me to be emotional because I care about you, you're going to see tears. And that's okay, right? I don't necessarily, it's not that I don't care. I'm not really fearful of the person in front of me, so to speak, in a sense, right? We tend to think about what the other person's going to think about us if we're showing that emotion. Oh, how dare I cry? Right? I've been on the phone with people, right? And instead of yelling at them because I'm mad, I'm getting upset right now. If you hear me cry, I'm just breathing through it. Just give me a second, and it shows people that I'm human. So the other person on the other line is like, okay, I feel you. I feel you. Take 5 minutes if you need to let it out. Right? It's more acceptable to the other person on the other line because they're not getting yelled at, right? You want to be nice and fair to everybody. You want to be able to have some control over your emotions, right? And this is where that awareness comes in, when you are recognizing when you are feeling these feelings and getting curious and acknowledging them, right? And another technique that I like to share with people, I call it the shelf it, right? And this came up last night, so it kind of goes well with last night's talk a bit, right? Because people, those people that just lash out, right? You had mentioned it, Donna, that, LaDonna, how do people get control over that, right? In those moments when you don't really want to just, right? And like life gets lifey, shelf it. This technique helps you bring in whatever's happening around you, and energetically you're taking it. So what I like to teach my clients is to take a deep breath and bring all the energy of that problem, whatever it is that's coming up for you, that's creating, a little havoc or a little turmoil in your life. You bring it all in energetically and you place it on top of a shelf right above you. You see it go there and you say, I will deal with you. You have time at 6 p.m. At 6 p.m. I will come back and deal with you at 6 p.m. You're literally taking it out energetically and placing it there, giving yourself the freedom to do what you need to do. Either talk to clients, deal with the kids, take the pets to the vet, whatever needs your attention in that moment, then you can energetically and full-heartedly deal with what you need to deal with. And then at 6 o'clock at night, allow yourself to go and unplug that. Whatever it was that happened, you got an unexpected bill, or, you found out that, God forbid, mom or dad fell, they needed to go to the hospital, whatever that trauma was, or whatever it was that was kind of stirred the pot or made you go off balance, go back and unplug it. Okay, what can I do now? Right? Allow yourself to feel it in that moment and really honor yourself. Give yourself that time, right? And if you need to cry, cry. If you need to punch a pillow, punch a pillow, right? Allow yourself to feel what you need to feel in that moment and honor yourself. And then that helps you move you forward, moves the needle forward, right? Because you're acknowledging what's going on, right? And it's building that resilience within you, right? Taking you out of your head and bringing you back into your heart and coming from that place, right? Because we know when we get in our head, things go, we go down the rabbit hole, so to speak, right? And then it's that knockoff effect, right? And then we have a hard time getting back, right? And it's catching it before it snowballs, right? Acknowledging the thoughts. We don't want to ever push them down. We don't ever want to just disregard them, right? They're coming up for a reason, right? Our emotions are signposts. They're there for a reason to tell us that we need to deal with something, right? And acknowledging it and moving forward and moving through it, right? So this was a little bit about my journey of going from reacting, right? And I'm like, and going to responding, right? Through these techniques, through this transformation, right? When I speak about the transformation in my journey, it's because I've lived it, right? I was the person, that people pleasing person, which then in turn caused anxiety for myself, right? And it was releasing that, right? I was on 2 antidepressants before, like that my mental health was not in a good place, right? And that transformation and really taking action and owning myself and my truth, right? And owning that what I was creating, right? We are our own creators in our world, right? And I can control what's within me, right? And how I am showing up for other people and how I'm being a role model for my children now. Yeah, so that's a little bit about my Throwback Thursday. Any questions? And I want to hear from you too. What was that pivotal thing or that pivotal moment where, that big change that happened for you? What was that thing? Like for me, it was the reacting to responding, and everybody has their own thing that was that pivotal moment when things crossed over and changed. So I'd love to hear from you. What was that pivotal moment for you guys?
What an
Yeah.
awesome talk, Jocelyn. I want to tell you, you asked my pivoting moment. I was raised in a household of throwing and yelling and screaming and hitting and I didn't realize that I was one, because I wasn't allowed to do that living at home as a child. And they didn't put you in a disciplinary corner after you were like the age of 3. They would just, beat you. I mean, that's just the way they were. But I didn't realize I was one of those people until after I married and moved out of home. Then I realized, oh my gosh, I picked up all these bad habits. It took a lot of control, self involvement, the help of my husband, because you don't want to behave like that in a marriage or as a parent, especially, this is before we even became parents, but you definitely don't want to behave that. And I'm not saying I had it all gone by the time I had my children, but I will tell you that my oldest daughter and my oldest grandson, which will be 18 this upcoming week, really was a great pivoting point in my life. They taught me that life happens that affects everyone in the family, not just you and your husband, because, she was pregnant with a baby in your freshman of college. And then he came into our lives and it was like, oh, Mama must slow down. She's got to help the daughter. She's got to help the household. She's got to help a new baby. And you know what? It really, for me, it was slowing down. Slowing my world down really helped. And even today, I have to remember when my mental stress is on a roller coaster to just go somewhere and slow down, sit and watch the Food Network for 30 minutes in complete silence. I don't want to eat the food because my hips have enough food on them, but I can watch them. I can watch the Food Network, right? It's that moment where you just slow down and nothing's around you. It seems to really, over the years, I've learned, and I'm still learning, of course, but that really helps when I'm on and we all get that way. None of us have this fairy tale, lollipop, sprinkled cupcake, unicorn world. None of us,
No, we don't.
But when you get on that roller coaster like that, you'll see LaDonna in her recliner, completely quiet with Boo Boo in her lap and Ranger and Max in front of her. And we are watching the Food Network for at least 30 minutes with no one talking, barking, or anything. And I don't know if that's, but my next outlet is I love my flower beds. But when I see a flower bed, they're not small, they're quite large. And I love going out and playing in the dirt. It is better than any Xanax that you could ever have.
Yep.
Because it gets away that pulling weeds and digging holes and planting. You can see what you've done immediately, no matter what. And
Well,
it
and
looks beautiful.
and you're taking in all that energy, right?
Yes.
We get a lot of our energy from the earth, right? It grounds us, it centers us. So by you doing just those two things, you don't do the up and down, right? You're giving yourself that constant, nice line where you're not, fluctuating throughout the day by incorporating those things, sporadically throughout the day. It could be once a day that you do this and it just keeps you level, right?
Yes. Even my
That's
children,
awesome.
they'll come over, and they're grown adults now, and they're like, ooh, the flower beds have no weeds. There's new flowers. Woo,
That's awesome.
Daddy must have been bad.
I love that. That's so funny.
So I don't know. What are your what does everyone else do
Yeah.
to get rid of some of that anxiety or the roller coaster feeling? Raul, let's start with you since you've got to go soon.
Let me tell you, I love how she connected everything, because one thing that really, I speak about my connection of India in 2017 and how my life changed. And in 2018, my ex came back. He went away for 3 years to do his movie career and whatever. And when he came back, I was in a toxic relationship for 10 years and he left. And when he came back, and because I've made these changes with my life, I started noticing all the ways he treated me and all the bad ways. And I started realizing and waking up and know that, hey, I don't want this anymore. So I know how it is like to connect those dots. The night before my birthday in 2018, he told me, go kill yourself. All right. I was having my friends over for the first time. My mom went away and I had to cook for Thanksgiving, and we invited all these people and I was cooking, and he told me if I'm looking to show off. So all these things I had to reflect on to know, hey, this is the end. And I understand the same way she talked about your mental health is your main priority. And I tell people this all the time. See your smiles, everything, it comes with that. You have to feel good inside. Thank you, Jocelyn. This was so amazing. And you have to realize when to put a stop to know it's all about you. Thank you.
It's true. It's true. So true. And thank you so much for sharing that, because it takes a lot of courage, right? Because the things that we do go through, it affects us, right? And it's like you said, recognizing those things, right? And it's huge because it's one of the things that I teach my kids because they're young, right? They're 7, 11, and 13, especially with my 13-year-old, right? She's in that adolescent, that teenage, right? Years. And I say to her, we teach people how to treat us. What you allow now, what are you going to allow in a few years? Right. And that's where, it's building that strength within herself to recognize, okay, I'm not going to let people talk to me that way. Right. But in a nice way, if it comes from a place of love and you're setting those boundaries, then it's received that way. Right. And things I like to say to my kids, I love you. And this is mommy's room. We don't jump on the bed. If you continue, you will be asked to leave. It's instead of me, don't jump on the bed, right? It's coming from that place of love, right? And teaching and empowering them, right? So kudos to you for really standing up for yourself. Like it's huge, right? And we don't recognize that in ourselves sometimes, right? It's really empowers us in those moments.
And thank you. One thing I want to add, just before we got on here, I saw a little video my mom sent me with a girl slapping her teacher. And as you brought that in, it's all about bringing up and how you brought up at home. And that is why she reacted like that. But thank you.
Yes, so true. Thank you. Anybody else? Abby, would you like to share?
Yes, thank you. I found my turning point to going in the better direction. It was a struggle, but the turning point was basically 1998 when I got out of my toxic relationship and accepted myself for who I am. And
Powerful.
then there was, another, Dar got me past all that. And so it became a second step. But once that happened, I am who you see today.
Yeah,
True.
that's so
That's
moving.
something.
I love that. I love that.
That was funny. Doc did like that. Doc said, 2 thumbs up. That's right, Doc. Take your credit, baby.
Yeah,
Yes,
take
pat
it.
yourself
Own
on the
it.
back, Dar.
Yeah, own it.
Oh God, good. I guess I go ahead and bounce off of what Abby said when she said, well, everybody said really. But my turning point, I guess, for me, what popped in my mind, the first thing was my turning point was when, after working for corporate America for 29 years, realizing that I was going to be retired, and the fear that set in. And I like what you said about emotions. You said that the emotions are signs of things that we need to address. And what happened to me was I became fearful because I had done this for so long. I'm like, what am I going to do? But I knew one thing I wasn't going to do, and that was go back to work for anybody. So my pivoting point was to figure it out. What are you going to do now? Where do you go from here when you do retire? So I realized quickly that I started networking, and I realized that I had to make some investments. Corporate America paid for everything, but now things had changed. So I had to change my mindset. And you said something about that, and I had to change my mindset and realize, hey, you got to pay in, baby, to get out. And I started finding coaches that had what I wanted, and I started making those huge investments in myself. And I'm glad I did, because that was what I needed. I needed somebody to hold my hand and tell me what they saw in me, because that's where the gifts come from. I didn't know I had all of that. I didn't know I could take my gifts and turn them into money. I didn't know nothing about that in corporate America. So pivoting for me meant discovering my gifts, my talents, and learning how to turn them into money, as well as using them to assist others in enhancing their lifestyle. That's huge for me. That's huge for me. When I can share with others and I see them use those gifts, talents that I put out there to make their life better, I think that's what, that's huge for me. And it's well worth the sacrifice that I invested in learning who I was and what I had to offer. I hope that makes sense.
Yes, no, it does. And it's so powerful because we don't often recognize or see the same things that other people see in us. Right. And sometimes, like you said, it takes that person outside of us to realize, to show us. Right. Because people used to say, oh, Jocelyn, you're this and this. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Right. Like, who are you, Willis? Like, because you don't always see that. Right. So, and accepting it. Sometimes it's not always easy to accept it, and it's kudos to you because it empowered you. Right. And look at you now. Right. You're doing 10 times better, and you're helping, and you're like thriving. Right. So it's just, I'm getting goosies.
And it's
I'm getting goosies as
amazing.
I'm talking.
It's amazing watching yourself in the mirror and seeing how much you've transformed, the transformation inside and outside of you, right? Of all of us. It's just when you look in the mirror and you're like, oh my gosh, look where I started and look where I am today. Or, something took me away for a short time, but I'm back. Back. So how about you, Dar?
Yeah.
Unmute, please. That darn blue button.
Bye, Raul. Thanks for coming.
Okay. Yeah, what resonated with me was when you talked about slowing down.
Oh, yeah.
I need the reminder to slow down once in a while. Well, more than once in a while, often, several times a day even. If I get too excitable talking about something, a certain topic or whatever, I start to stutter. I start to do all this weird twitching, and that's my reminder. Slow down. And as of late, we've been breaking together, Abby and I. We go to our chairs in the living room for 5 minutes, and we do positive affirmation meditation to music, and it was really awesome. I found it very helpful.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's taking your
Awesome.
mind off of everything, right? Like you're saying, slowing
Yeah.
down.
Oh
Whether
yeah,
it's,
yeah.
listening to something, or just even taking some deep breaths, getting back into your body, right?
Yes.
That's
yes.
amazing, because you're going to see a huge difference in your overall feeling by continuing to do that. And doing it with somebody is so much funner. So kudos to you.
Oh,
Exactly. And Dar, I'm so glad to hear that I'm not the only one that goes back to stuttering once I get to
Oh, I hate it.
no, I was tongue-tied and stuttered my entire childhood, did not realize it till I started school in first grade. And I had a speech therapist up until a junior in high school. That's how severe it was.
Oh, wow.
I know that you can't really tell it most of the time when I talk, but if I get upset,
Yep.
woo, the stuttering and the twisted words, oh my gosh. And that's when I know, okay, go put myself in the closet, literally, just go away. Go put myself in the closet, away from the earth, away from everyone. And yeah, because it does. It brings back some of those ugly things that we used to do that now we are going to do again, just because we're upset.
Well,
Grounding.
I never used to stutter
Mm.
until when I was, I don't know, I was probably 8 years old when I had my tonsils and adenoids removed. And then something weird happened, and I have always sound nasally, but this twitching crap, like I'm like, where does this come from? And you have to look really deep into, and I know medication has a lot to do with it, but I won't go into all that stuff.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think mine may be meds. I'm not sure. I just now started that. Maybe it's old age. Maybe God's telling me there's something else I need to do with that energy.
Well, grounding also helps.
Exactly.
Grounding yourself will help in those moments too. It'll take the jitters away, right? So practicing grounding exercises, and that's just with breathing and visualizations, right? That's what I do, and it helps cocoon my energy, and I don't feel like I'm so scattered all the time. Right? I found that that's really helped me, right? Yeah. So little food for thoughts, little tips and tricks.
Yeah. I love it. So is there anything else that anyone wants else to say before we go? I do want to ask you to make sure you share us on social media, but I want to make sure all of our questions are asked. Abby, did you have something else?
I think she's gone.
I mean, Dar, I'm sorry, it was Dar.
Yeah, that was me. Everybody confuses Abby and I together.
Well, I knew that there was somebody's hand up, and I couldn't remember. Yes,
I get called Abby all the time. But anyway, I just wanted to add that like there's always something to do. We have all kinds of stuff to do all throughout our entire house, and sometimes that gets me all riled up, and then I have to kind of find a place in the house that doesn't have anything to do in it, and there's no place to go. So I don't know, we just sit in our chairs and close our eyes and hope it all goes away when you open your eyes again. But yeah,
maybe find you a corner, Dar. Find you one corner to fix up, all pretty like you like it, that you don't need to do anything else with, and you go to that corner when you need to.
Yep.
Put yourself in the corner, Dar.
But a comfy corner.
Do you have a specific place that you run to, Dr. Pat, when you're on your roller coaster?
Do I have a special place that I run to? Well, actually, I don't run. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't run. I face stuff head on, honey. If it's you, I'm gonna call you. I'm gonna reach out to you and let you know. Let's get it right. I'm being honest, because I personally can't function unless I have some resolution, because it just messes up everything. So the best thing to do is to just address it head on. And because most times, this is just my opinion, for me, most times when I have uncomfortable feelings or those negative feelings, it comes from other people's behaviors. So most times conflict, whatever it may be, comes from other people. And in order to resolve or save the relationship, I just believe that communication goes a long way. And after that, I'm not responsible. That's how I do it, because I don't want to throw people away. I want to get along, but people don't know. We don't know each other. None of us know each other. We just visiting each other on site. So if we don't pick up that phone as entrepreneurs, if we don't pick up their phone, use the message, text, Facebook. We got to let people know. And I noticed this, one thing I can say, Jocelyn, is that something I think that people struggle with is being transparent, being honest with their feelings, because they were, like you said, something about worried about what people say. Well, if it's not going in my favor, it don't matter what they think because it ain't working anyway.
Right.
So let me jump on this thing and try to see and let them understand who I am and where I'm coming from. And maybe we can kind of bring this thing together, because sometimes people don't even know that they're doing what they're doing because we don't know each other. We don't go out together. We don't hang out together. We come on these platforms. We do like people from a face value, but it's more to people than what we see. Everybody has their own lifestyle. Everybody has their own ways, their disciplines, and it's the disciplines of other people that can either flow with us in our direction. I heard you when you said something about saying yes to opportunity. If opportunity does not serve me, I have to look at that. I have to look at, much as I would love to be on everybody's stuff, I have to look at what's in it for me. And that's what Women Prosperity teaches us. Bill Walsh, what's in it for me? If I'm coming to your event, I got to see what's in it for me. Am I going to meet somebody else nice? Am I going to hear something that I need to hear? Am I going to get an email in the chat? Yeah, I look at all that.
That's right. That's right, Dr.
Yeah.
Pat. And that's one thing
Yes.
I love about Dr. Pat is that she will, if there's something not vibing with her just right, she will reach out to you and say, hey, what's up with this? And me and her, we vibe like that though. We connect with that. So yes, I love it.
Well, it's coming from a place of love too, right? And connection. So when it comes from that place, then it's received that way, right? And if you're coming when you come from a place of hostility, then it's received that way, right? So I'm totally for that, connections, being honest, because no time for that, right?
Communication is key. Communication is key. So, all right, with that said, go fill up your social media. Make sure that you're commenting on everyone's post. Jocelyn has something coming up next week. Dr. Joy's event starts Monday, right, Dr. Pat?
Yes. Is it Monday? It's the 9th, whatever the 9th is.
Yes, I think it's
that's
Monday.
Yep.
And then Dr. Pat's is a couple of weeks away. So we have a lot of things to get on the ball with and motivate us to do more, better, faster, and stronger. Thank you so much for being here. And I will see you guys next week. Our next one will be Millionaire Marketplace on Tuesday morning.
Perfect.
Bye-bye now.
Bye.
Okay,
Bye.
bye-bye.